The truth about singer Enrique Iglesias. Enrique Miguel Iglesias Preysler, born May 8, 1975, known professionally as Enrique Iglesias, is a Spanish singer, songwriter, actor and record producer. He is widely regarded as the king of Latin pop. Iglesias started his career in the mid-1990s on an American Spanish-language record label Fonovisa Records under the name Enrique Martinez, before switching to the stage name Enrique Iglesias and becoming one of the biggest stars in Latin America and the Hispanic market in the United States. By the turn of the millennium, he had made a successful crossover into the mainstream market and signed a multi-album deal with Universal Music Group for $68 million with Universal Music Latino to release his Spanish albums and Interscope Records to release English albums. In 2010, he parted with Interscope Records and signed with another Universal Music Group label Republic Records to release bilingual albums. In 2015, Iglesias parted ways with Universal Music Group after a decade. He signed with Sony Music. His upcoming albums will be by Sony Music Latin in Spanish and RCA Records in English. Iglesias has sold over 159 million records worldwide, making him one of the best-selling Spanish artists ever. Iglesias has scored over 150 #1 hits across all of the Billboard charts. He has had 5 Billboard Hot 100 top 5 singles, including 2 #1s, and holds the record for producing 27 #1 Spanish-language singles on the Billboard's Hot Latin Tracks. He also holds the record for most #1 hits and the longest-running #1 hit on the chart. Iglesias also has 14 #1s on Billboard's dance charts, more than any other male artist. Early life and family. Iglesias was born in Madrid, Spain, and is the third and youngest child of Spanish singer Julio Iglesias and Filipina socialite and magazine journalist Isabel Preysler. Isabel's aunt is actress Neil Adams, the first wife of American actor Steve McQueen and grandmother of actor Stephen R. McQueen. He was raised with 2 older siblings, Chabeli and Julio. His mother is Filipina and his father is Spanish, with family from Galicia and Andalusia. His father is of Jewish ancestry and has also claimed Puerto Rican ancestry on his mother's side. His parents divorced in 1979. At first, Iglesias and his 2 siblings stayed with their mother, but in 1986, Iglesias' grandfather, Dr. Julio Iglesias Puga, was kidnapped by the armed Basque terrorist group ETA. For their safety, Enrique and his brother Julio were sent to live with their father in Miami. There, they were brought up mostly by the nanny, Elvira Olivares, to whom he later dedicated his first album. 1820, he also lived in Belgrade, Yugoslavia, for 1 year with his mother. As his father's career kept him on the road, the young Iglesias was raised by the family nanny. He attended the prestigious Gulliver Preparatory School and later went on to study business at the University of Miami. Iglesias did not want his father to know about his plans for a musical career and did not want his famous surname to help advance his career. He borrowed money from his family nanny and he recorded a demo cassette tape which consisted of a Spanish song and 2 English songs. Approaching his father's former publicist, Fernan Martinez, the 2 promoted the songs under the stage name Enrique Martinez with a backstory of being an unknown singer from Guatemala. Iglesias was signed on to Fonovisa Records. After dropping out of college, he traveled to Toronto to record his first album. Music career, 1995–96, Enrique Iglesias. On July 12, 1995, Iglesias released Enrique Iglesias, a collection of light rock ballads, including hits such as Experiencia Religiosa, and others. This album Viver, along with Iglesias' next 2 albums, was released by the Mexican label Fonovisa. The record sold 500,000 copies in its first week, a rare accomplishment then for an album recorded in a language other than English, going gold in Portugal within the first week of release, and sold over 1 million copies in the next 3 months. His song Por Marte was included in Televisa's telenovela Marisol, but with a twist. Instead of Por Marte daría mi vida, to love you, I'd give my life, the words were Por Marte Marisol, Mariria, to love you, Marisol, I'd die. The CD also yielded Italian and Portuguese editions of the album, with most of the songs translated into those languages. 5 singles released from this album, such as Por Mart, No Las Por Me, and Trapsista, topped the Billboard's Latin charts. The album went on to win Iglesias a Grammy Award for Best Latin Pop Performance. 1997-98, Vibern Cosas del Amor. Iglesias with Ronald McDonald in 1999. His Cosas del Amor tour was sponsored by McDonald's. In 1997, Iglesias' stardom continued to rise with the release of Viver, To Live, which put him up with other English-language music superstars in sales for that year. The album also included a cover version of the Yazoo song Only You, translated into Spanish as Solo NT. 3 singles released from Viver, Enamorado por Primera Vez, Solo NT and Mine topped the Latin singles chart as well as those in several Spanish-speaking countries. Along with his father and Luis Miguel, Iglesias was nominated for an American Music Award in the first-ever awarded category of Favorite Latin Artist. It was said beforehand that the elder Iglesias would walk out if he did not win the award. Iglesias lost out to his father, but did perform the song Lluvia Que at the event. Insisting on playing stadiums for his first concert tour, that summer, Iglesias, backed by sidemen for Elton John, Bruce Springsteen and Billy Joel, played to sold-out audiences in 16 countries. Beginning in Odessa, Texas, the tour went on to 3 consecutive nights in Mexico's Plaza de Toros, 2 consecutive nights at Monterrey's Auditorio Coca-Cola and 2 at the Estadio River Plate in Buenos Aires, Argentina, to over 130,000 people as well as 19 arenas in the U.S. In 1998, Iglesias released his third album, Cosas del Amor, Things of Love. Taking a more mature musical direction, the album, aided by the popular singles Esperanza and Nunca Te Olvidaré, both of which topped the Latin singles chart, helped cement his status in the Latin music scene. Iglesias did a short tour of smaller venues to accompany the release of the album, with one show being televised from Acapulco, Mexico. This was followed by a larger world tour of over 80 shows in even bigger venues. The Cosas del Amor tour was the first ever concert tour sponsored by McDonald's. He won an American Music Award in the category of Favorite Latin Artist against Ricky Martin and Chayanne. The song Nunca Te Olvidaré was also used as the theme music for a Spanish soap opera of the same name, and he sang the song himself on the last episode of the series. 1999-2001, Enrique and Escape. By 1999, Iglesias had begun a successful crossover career into the English-language music market. Thanks to other successful crossover acts, most notably that of Ricky Martin and Gloria Estefan, Latino artists and music had a great surge in popularity in mainstream music. After attending one of his concerts in March 1999, Will Smith asked Iglesias to contribute to the soundtrack of his movie Wild Wild West. His contribution Bailamos was released as a single and became a #1 hit in the U.S. After the success of Bailamos, several mainstream record labels were eager to sign Iglesias. Signing a multi-album deal after weeks of negotiations with Interscope, Iglesias recorded and released his first full CD in English, Enrique. The pop album, with some Latin influences, took 2 months to complete. It contained the song Rhythm Divine, a duet with Whitney Houston entitled Could I Have This Kiss Forever, and a cover of the Bruce Springsteen song Sad Eyes. In 2000, Iglesias performed at the Super Bowl XXXIV halftime show alongside Christina Aguilera, Phil Collins, and Toni Braxton. Shock jock Howard Stern repeatedly played a tape of a supposedly very off-key Iglesias on his radio show and accused the Iglesias of not being able to sing live. On June 8, 2000, Iglesias sang the song Live on Stern's show with just a guitar accompanying him. After the performance, Stern remarked, "I respect you for coming in here. You really can sing." Iglesias noted that the off-key recording was also him, but that it was probably a recording made during a television taping where he was required to lip-sync. 30. He would remark that the controversy was the best promotion he could have. The album's single Be With You became Iglesias' second #1 single on Billboard's Hot 100. In 2001, Iglesias released his second English-language album Escape. Where most of the Latin crossover acts of the previous year experienced some difficulty matching the record sales of their first English-language albums, Iglesias actually went on to sell even more. The album's first single, Hero, became a #1 hit in the United Kingdom, and in many other countries. The entire album was co-written by Iglesias. Escape is his biggest commercial success to date. The singles Escape and Don't Turn Off the Lights became radio staples, faring well and placing highly or topping various charts both in North America and elsewhere. A second edition of the album was released internationally and contained a new version of one of Iglesias's favorite tracks, Maybe, as well as a duet with Lionel Richie called To Love a Woman. Iglesias capitalized on the album's success with his One Night Stand World Tour consisting of 50 sold-out shows in 16 countries, including Radio City Music Hall and 3 consecutive nights in London's Royal Albert Hall. The tour ended with a big show at Stadium Național Lea Manoliu in Bucharest, Romania. The concert launched MTV Romania, with a video for Love to See You Cry being the first to be shown on the channel. The second leg of the tour, Don't Turn Off the Lights, was completed in the summer of 2002, with 2 sold-out nights in Madison Square Garden and another 2 in Mexico's National Auditorium. The tour finished with a single show in the Roberto Clemente Coliseum in San Juan, Puerto Rico. 2002-04, Quizzes in 7. Enrique Iglesias, Vilnius, Lithuania. In 2002 Iglesias chose to release a 4th Spanish-language album titled Quizzes, perhaps a more polished musical production than his previous Spanish albums and containing more introspective songs. The album's title track is a song about the strained relationship Iglesias has with his famous father. The album debuted at number 12 on the Billboard 200 Albums chart, the highest placement of a Spanish-language album on the chart at the time. Quizzes sold 1 million copies in a week, making it the fastest-selling album in Spanish in 5 years. The 3 singles released from the album all ended up topping the Latin chart, giving Iglesias a total of 16 #1s on the chart. He currently holds the record for the most #1 singles on Billboard's Latin chart. His last single from the album, Para Que La Vida, reached 1 million spins on U.S. radio, the only Spanish-language song to do so. The video to the song Quizzes was the first Spanish-language music video to be added to the selection on one of MTV's popular shows, Total Request Live. Iglesias performed the song on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno, becoming the first to sing a Spanish song on the show, and opening doors for other artists such as Ricky Martin, Wayans and Jorge Drexler to perform their Spanish material. Iglesias included songs from Quizzes in his Don't Turn Off the Lights tour, and the album went on to win a Latin Grammy Award for Best Pop Vocal Album. By 2003 Iglesias released his 7th album, which he called Seven, the second to be co-written by Iglesias. Among its more 1980s-inspired material, it features the song Romer, which he wrote with his friend and longtime guitarist, Tony Bruno. The CD also contained the song Be Yourself, a song about independence. The chorus talks about how Iglesias' own parents did not believe he'd ever succeed in his singing career. The first single was the song Addicted, and was followed closely by a remix of the song Not in Love, featuring Kellis. With this album, Iglesias went on his biggest world tour to date. The highly publicized tour started with 12 shows in the United States, ending with Iglesias playing at Houston Rodeo, and continued on to several countries, most of which he'd never previously visited, playing to sold-out arenas and stadiums in Australia, India, Egypt and Singapore before ending his tour in South Africa. 2007-09, Insomniac, 95/08 Éxitos and Greatest Hits. After a 2-year hiatus, Iglesias released his new album Insomniac on June 12, 2007. The album was so named due to it being recorded mainly at night. The album contained a more contemporary pop style than that of previous albums. The album's highlights include Push, with rapper Lil Wayne, as well as Ring My Bells, and a cover of Ringside's Tired of Being Sorry. The first single, Do You Know? The Ping Pong Song, was released on April 10, 2007. It was Iglesias' highest-charting song on the Billboard Hot 100 since Escape. The song was also a hit throughout Europe, peaking in the top 10 in many countries. The Spanish version of the song, entitled Dímelo, was #1 on Billboard's Hot Latin Songs chart for 11 weeks, becoming his second best-performing song on the chart at the time. Iglesias followed up with the ballad Somebody's Me, which was released as a single in the American continent. The song was played extensively on AC radio and peaked high on Billboard's Hot AC. In Europe, the second single was Tired of Being Sorry, which performed well in many countries. He recorded a version of the song with French singer Nadia, which was #1 in France for 11 weeks. On July 4, 2007, Enrique Iglesias became the first Western artist to play a concert in Syria in 3 decades when he performed for a sold-out crowd of 10,000 in the capital Damascus. Citation needed. And in the same week he performed on Live Earth in Hamburg. The Insomniac World Tour was launched at the Coca-Cola Dome in Johannesburg, South Africa, the same venue he ended his last world tour and took him to sold-out arenas throughout Europe. It was his first arena tour of the UK, with him playing venues such as Manchester's Man Arena and Wembley Arena. The tour ended with Iglesias performing at the newly opened LA Live. A second leg of the tour took him throughout Latin America, from Mexico to Argentina. A solo version of Push was added to the soundtrack of the movie Step Up to the Streets. The song was regarded as the third single from the album. A music video was shot which features the film's lead actors. Despite never being officially added to radio, the song has charted in several countries and is one of his most highly rated songs amongst fans. Iglesias' song Can You Hear Me has been chosen as the official song of the UEFA Euro 2008 football tournament. He performed the song live at the June 29, 2008 final in Vienna, Austria. The song featured on a reissue of the Insomniac album being released in certain countries. Enrique Iglesias performing on November 29, 2007, Iglesias released a Spanish greatest hits album named 95/08 Éxitos on March 25, 2008, which included his 17 #1 songs on the Billboard Hot Latin Songs chart plus 2 new songs. The first single was the song Don Este Corazón, which was written by Argentine star Cody and became Iglesias' 18th #1 single on Billboard's Hot Latin Songs. The album debuted at #1 on Billboard's Top Latin Albums chart and number 18 on the overall Billboard 200 Albums chart. It was Iglesias' second Spanish album to debut in the top 20 of the Billboard 200. Quizás debuted at number 12 in 2002. The album was certified double platinum, Latin Field, in the US and in some Latin American countries. The album's second single Lara Por Ti also reached #1 on the Hot Latin Songs chart and had an official remix featuring Wisin and Yandel. Iglesias did a tour of the US to promote the compilation. Beginning in Laredo, Texas, and ending at the Izod Center in New Jersey, he was accompanied through most of the tour with Bacata Band Aventura, who also performed Lara Por Ti with him at the 2008 Premios Juventud. Iglesias was a surprise performer at the 2008 Lo Nuestro Awards, opening the show with a medley of Andamelo. He also performed at the Billboard Latin Music Awards, where he received a special award. After the success of his Spanish Greatest Hits compilation, Iglesias released a compilation of his English-language hits on November 11. The album includes Can You Hear Me as well as 2 new songs. The first single is entitled Away, which featured Sean Garrett and was followed by To Come Back My Love featuring Ciara. The album debuted at number 3 on the official UK Albums chart and sold over 80,000 copies in its first 2 weeks of release alone. Iglesias was the winner of 2 World Music Awards in the categories of World's Best-Selling Latin Performer and World's Best-Selling Spanish Artist, in the ceremony held in Monaco on November 9, 2008. 2010-11, Euphoria. On July 5, 2010, Iglesias released his 9th studio album, Euphoria, his first work to be released under his new label, Universal Republic. The album is Iglesias' first bilingual album with 7 original English songs and 6 original Spanish songs. 35. The album won the Billboard Music Award for Top Latin Album, the Billboard Latin Awards for Latin Album of the Year and Latin Pop Album of the Year, and was nominated for the Latin Grammy Award for Album of the Year. Iglesias worked with 3 producers whom he had collaborated with before: Redone, Mark Taylor and Carlos Passer. The album features collaborations with Akon, Usher, Nicole Scherzinger, Sunidhi Chauhan, Ludacris, DJ Frank E., Pitbull, Juan Luis Guerra and his third duet with Wisin and Yandel. In a joint venture with Universal Latino, Iglesias released different singles in both English and Spanish simultaneously to different formats. The first English single from the album, I Like It, which features the rapper Pitbull, was released on May 3, 2010 in the US and became a success, reaching number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100. The song was also featured in the MTV reality series, Jersey Shore. Cuando Me Enamoro was released as the lead Spanish single from the album, and became the theme song of the Mexican telenovela of the same title, produced by Televisa. The song debuted at number 8 and number 25 on the U.S. Latin Pop Songs chart and the U.S. Hot Latin Songs chart, respectively. The song became his 25th top 10 single on the U.S. Billboard Hot Latin Songs chart, and after 4 weeks of its release date it became his 21st number 1 song on this chart. In January 2011, the album's third English single Tonight broke into the top 10 on the Billboard Hot 100, also reaching number 4 and became another big success. The song was released only for digital download in the United States but was featured on some editions of Euphoria in Europe and some Asian areas. The song became Iglesias' first number 1 on the U.S. Pop Songs and Radio Songs airplay charts. A remix version of the album track Dirty Dancer was released as the fourth English single and became his 9th Hot Dance Club Play chart topper, tying with Prince and Michael Jackson as the male with the most number 1 dance singles. Further, I served as the album's third Spanish single and 7th single overall. The Euphoria tour took Iglesias across the US, Canada, the UK and several European countries. One of the tour's legs took him to Australia while fellow artist Pitbull joined him as an opening act. Prince Royce also served as opening act during the tour's second leg across North America. In August 2011, he released the single I Like How It Feels to radio. This was planned to serve as the lead single from the Euphoria album's proposed reissue that never came to fruition, Euphoria Reloaded. 2012-14, Sex and Love. On August 25, 2012, Iglesias unveiled his brand new single, Finally Found You, a collaboration with American rapper Sammy Adams. You do not have a valid verification file. Please contact our sales support team to obtain a valid license. It was released to the US iTunes Store on September 25, 2012. The song was released in UK on December 9, 2012. On December 8, 2012, Iglesias performed at Z100 Jingle Ball in Miami and the iHeartRadio Festival interview session. Before the shows, Iglesias stated he's working on some new music and, when asked about his time in the studio, Iglesias said, "It's kind of like going fishing, you never know when you're going to catch a big one." Continuing on to tell what fans can expect to hear, he said he's ready to try something new, saying, "I come out with so many albums and I want to make sure that if I come out with an album it sounds new. At least to me." It has been confirmed that Iglesias will be working with Mark Taylor, The Cataracts, and Carlos Polcar for his new album. On May 31, 2013, Iglesias performed at the Mawazine Festival in Rabat, Morocco. The show broke the highest attendance record as more than 120,000 fans gathered to watch the concert, which is considered as the highest as of yet. On June 29, 2013, Republic Records confirmed that Enrique's first single from his upcoming album is titled Turn the Night Up. The single was released in the middle of July. Iglesias released a special video which featured photos and videos that fans had sent in. Fans could also make their own version using media from their personal Facebook albums. The song was released to U.S. Top 40 Radio on July 22, 2013. 44. On July 18, 2013, Iglesias uploaded a single's cover art on his official website. On August 24, 2013, Loco was released on iTunes as the lead Spanish single from his upcoming album. The smooth bachata track features vocals from urban bachata superstar Romeo Santos. 46. The single released worldwide on August 26, 2013. It became Iglesias' 24th number 1 on the Billboard's Hot Latin Songs chart. On September 17, 2013, Z100 Radio played Enrique's third single from his upcoming bilingual studio album. The single titled Heart Attack was released in October 2013. It officially impacted top 40/mainstream radio in the US on October 1, 2013. Iglesias confirmed "I'm a Freak" as the third English single from his 10th studio album. The single features Pitbull and was released in January 2014. Iglesias recorded a song with Kylie Minogue called "Beautiful," which appears on her 12th studio album, Kiss Me Once. 49. On January 29, 2014, Iglesias announced the title of his 10th studio album would be Sex and Love. The album was released on March 14, 2014. The album features guest vocals from Pitbull, Romeo Santos, Marco Antonio Solis, Flo Rida, Kylie Minogue, Yandel, Jennifer Lopez, Jen Tizona and India Martinez. Enrique Iglesias performing with Pitbull at the Frank Erwin Center in Austin, Texas, 2015. His latest hit is Bailando Ft. Sean Paul, December Bueno, and Jen Tizona. Bailando got him 3 Latin Grammys 10 years after his album, Euphoria, received a nomination. Bailando helped him match Shakira's previous record on Billboard's Hot Latin Songs chart. Bailando spent 41 weeks at number 1 on the chart. Bailando was also YouTube's second most watched music video of 2014, behind Katy Perry's hit single, Dark Horse. Bailando has currently over 2 billion views and holds the record for the most watched Latin music video and the second most watched non-English music video ever, as of December 20, 2016. Bailando was included on the Just Dance 2015 soundtrack. Sex and Love was Spotify's 7th most streamed album worldwide in 2014, and Bailando was the most streamed song in both Mexico and Spain. Iglesias was also called the King of 2014, due to his 10th album, Sex and Love, and his hit single, Bailando. Billboard called him the crowd pleaser of 2014. After more than a decade with Universal Music, Iglesias left the record label in 2015 and signed on with Sony Music. 2017-present. On January 11, 2017, Iglesias went to Cuba to film a music video for a song, Subime la Radio, which features December Bueno and Zion Y. Lennox. The artist filmed several scenes atop a bus in the center of Old Havana and in other areas of the country for the video that was centered around showcasing the liveliness of the Cuban people. The video also tells the love story of Iglesias and a Cuban woman. The video was broadcast internationally February 24, 2017. Songwriting, producing, and acting. Iglesias has collaborated with songwriter Guy Chambers to write on Nuevo Giorno, the lead single from Andrea Bocelli's first pop album. The song was later translated into English as First Day of My Life and recorded by Spice Girl Melanie C. The song has since gone to become a huge hit throughout Europe, and peaked in the #1 spot in numerous countries. Iglesias also co-wrote the single The Way for American Idol runner-up Clay Aiken. 4 songs co-written by Iglesias appear on the UK band The Hollies' current album. In 2010 Idol All-Stars 2010, Swedish Idol series, released a song All I Need Is You co-written by Iglesias with Andreas Carlsson, Kjell Engström and Christian Lundin. He also co-wrote Jennifer Lopez's song Dance Again, released in 2012, which reached #1 position in the Billboard Hot Dance Club Songs. In 2000, Iglesias co-produced an off-Broadway musical called Four Guys Named Jose and Una Mujer Named Maria. In the musical, 4 Americans of Latin heritage possess a common interest in music and meet and decide to put on a show. The show contained many references and allusions to many classic and contemporary Latin and pop songs by the likes of Carmen Miranda, Selena, Richie Valens, Chayanne, Ricky Martin and Iglesias himself. Iglesias starred alongside Antonio Banderas, Salma Hayek and Johnny Depp in the Robert Rodriguez film Once Upon a Time in Mexico, in which he played the well-spoken gun-wielding Lorenzo. In 2007, he had a guest appearance in the TV comedy 2.5 Men as a carpenter handyman. He also guest-starred as Gail, an Argentinian guitar-playing surfer massage therapist love interest of Robin in Season 3 of the CBS hit TV show How I Met Your Mother. Iglesias also played the part of an evil Roman emperor in a Pepsi advertising in 2004. He's also starred in commercials for Tommy Hilfiger, Doritos and for Viceroy watches. Personal life. Anna Kournikova. Iglesias received surgery in 2003 to remove a circular mole from the right side of his face, citing possible concerns that over time it could become cancerous. In late 2001, he started dating tennis player Anna Kournikova. They reportedly split in October 2013 but have since reconciled. Enrique Iglesias built a new mansion for himself on the beaches of Miami, estimated to be worth approximately $26 million. Humanitarian cause. In 2010, Iglesias was included in the Project Download to Donate started by an organization Music for Relief started by American rock band Linkin Park. He was co-producer of the album Download to Donate for Haiti, a charity album for the 2010 Haiti earthquake, with the co-vocalist of the band Mike Shinoda. Both of them promoted the album at various venues, one of them is Larry King Live, where he and Shinoda explained the project. In 2013, Iglesias has urged his followers to donate money through the American Red Cross to help the victims of the deadly Typhoon Haiyan in the Philippines. The typhoon struck 1 month after the Philippines was hit by a 7.2 magnitude earthquake which destroyed the homes and livelihoods of around 350,000 people. Iglesias has supported City of Hope, Habitat for Humanity, Help for Heroes, Live Earth, Muscular Dystrophy Association, Music for Relief, Special Olympics, the Salvation Army, and charitable causes like Alex's Lemonade Stand Foundation and Hunger Relief. Discography. Main article, Enrique Iglesias Discography, Studio Albums, Enrique Iglesias, 1995, Viver, 1997, Cosas del Amor, 1998, Enrique, 1999, Escape, 2001, Quizzes, 2002, 7, 2003, Insomniac, 2007, Euphoria, 2010, Sex and Love, 2014. The truth about singer Enrique Iglesias. Enrique Miguel Iglesias Preysler, born May 8, 1975, known professionally as Enrique Iglesias, is a Spanish singer, songwriter, actor and record producer. He is widely regarded as the king of Latin pop. Iglesias started his career in the mid-1990s on an American Spanish-language record label Fonovisa Records under the name Enrique Martinez, before switching to the stage name Enrique Iglesias and becoming one of the biggest stars in Latin America and the Hispanic market in the United States. By the turn of the millennium, he had made a successful crossover into the mainstream market and signed a multi-album deal with Universal Music Group for $68 million with Universal Music Latino to release his Spanish albums and Interscope Records to release English albums. In 2010, he parted with Interscope Records and signed with another Universal Music Group label Republic Records to release bilingual albums. In 2015, Iglesias parted ways with Universal Music Group after a decade. He signed with Sony Music. His upcoming albums will be by Sony Music Latin in Spanish and RCA Records in English. Iglesias has sold over 159 million records worldwide, making him one of the best-selling Spanish artists ever. Iglesias has scored over 150 #1 hits across all of the Billboard charts. He has had 5 Billboard Hot 100 top 5 singles, including 2 #1s, and holds the record for producing 27 #1 Spanish-language singles on the Billboard's Hot Latin Tracks. He also holds the record for most #1 hits and the longest-running #1 hit on the chart. Iglesias. For their safety, Enrique and his brother Julio were sent to live with their father in Miami. There, they were brought up mostly by the nanny, Elvira Olivares, to whom he later dedicated his first album. 1820, he also lived in Belgrade, Yugoslavia, for 1 year with his mother. As his father's career kept him on the road, the young Iglesias was raised by the family nanny. He attended the prestigious Gulliver Preparatory School and later went on to study business at the University of Miami. Iglesias did not want his father to know about his plans for a musical career and did not want his famous surname to help advance his career. He borrowed money from his family nanny and he recorded a demo cassette tape which consisted of a Spanish song and 2 English songs. Approaching his father's former publicist, Fernan Martinez, The two promoted the songs under the stage name Enrique Martinez, with a backstory of being an unknown. Also has 14 number ones on Billboard's dance charts, more than any other male artist. Early life and family. Iglesias was born in Madrid, Spain, and is the third and youngest child of Spanish singer Julio Iglesias and Filipina socialite and magazine journalist Isabel Preysler. Isabel's aunt is actress Neil Adams, the first wife of American actor Steve McQueen and grandmother of actor Stephen R. McQueen. He was raised with two older siblings, Chabeli and Julio. His mother is Filipina and his father is Spanish, with family from Galicia and Andalusia. His father is of Jewish ancestry and has also claimed Puerto Rican ancestry on his mother's side. His parents divorced in 1979. At first, Iglesias and his two siblings stayed with their mother, but in 1986, Iglesias' grandfather, Dr. Julio Iglesias Puga, was kidnapped by the armed Basque terrorist group ETA. Singer from Guatemala, Iglesias was signed on to Fonovisa Records. After dropping out of college, he traveled to Toronto to record his first album. Music career, 1995–96, Enrique Iglesias. On July 12, 1995, Iglesias released Enrique Iglesias, a collection of light rock ballads, including hits such as Experiencia Religiosa, and others. This album Viver, along with Iglesias' next two albums, was released by the Mexican label Fonovisa. The record sold 500,000 copies in its first week, a rare accomplishment then for an album recorded in a language other than English, going gold in Portugal within the first week of release, and sold over 1 million copies in the next 3 months. His song Por Mart was included in Televisa's telenovela Marisol, but with a twist: instead of Por Mart Daria Mi